Imagine adding decades of healthy, vibrant life to your story. Not just, existing, but really thriving. What if the secret to living well beyond 100 wasn't hidden away in some futuristic lab, but actually preserved in remote corners of our planet? Today, you and I are taking a deep dive into what some researchers call longevity villages, or blue zones. These are places where people routinely live past 100 and with an extraordinary quality of life. Our mission here is to really pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from the sources we've reviewed to understand how these communities seem to defy, well, conventional wisdom about aging. Take Maria Gonzalez, for instance. Our sources mentioned she just celebrated her 107th birthday down in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. And get this, she still tends her garden daily, climbs steep hills without much trouble, dances at village parties. And here's a detail that really jumped out at me from the research. She's reportedly never owned a pill bottle her whole life. When they asked her secret, she just sort of gestured to the pristine mountains all around her village. Her story, and honestly, countless others like it in our sources, it really challenges everything we're typically told about getting older.
It really does. And the material we're exploring today, it presents these communities as, well, living examples of some of the most powerful anti-aging discoveries on Earth. There's a provocative claim woven through these sources, basically, that the human body is actually designed to live vibrantly well beyond 100 years. But, and this is the key part, this potential is only unlocked when it gets a very precise combination of things. Environmental factors, specific dietary compounds, and these consistent lifestyle practices that remarkably these hidden villages have preserved for centuries. It's a huge reframe, isn't it? Away from just managing decline.
Okay, yeah, it definitely is. So let's unpack these extraordinary claims. Let's start by looking at specific locations that seem to operate on a completely different biological clock. Our first stop, it takes us high into the mountains of Sardinia in Italy. The sources paint such a vivid picture. You've got centenarian shepherds, men in their 90s, still scaling these rocky peaks that honestly would challenge people half their age. And every evening, the village squares apparently come alive. People passionately debating, sharing laughter, playing cards, and pouring this homemade Canada wine. Now, the research we analyzed suggests that this particular wine has unique antioxidant compounds, specific polyphenols, things linked to supporting cellular health, maybe even slowing down cellular aging.
Right, that observation about the Cannonau wine is fascinating, and it connects directly to how these communities seem to defy conventional aging, especially at the cellular level. When researchers actually analyzed the blood of these Sardinian centenarians, they found something pretty significant. Their telomeres, those protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes. They normally shorten as we age, indicating biological aging. Well, theirs weren't just longer than average. In some cases, the sources indicate they seem to be maintained or maybe even slightly elongated as these people got older. Now, aging backward is a strong phrase, perhaps too strong, but what the research strongly suggests is this unusual resilience, a maintenance of cellular integrity over a remarkably long time. For you listening, this isn't just some scientific curiosity. It hints that maybe our cellular clock isn't quite as fixed as we thought.
That finding on telomeres is, wow, groundbreaking, really.
Yeah.
Are there specific lifestyle factors in Sardinia that the sources link most strongly to this cellular rejuvenation?
Oh, absolutely. Beyond just the wine, the sources really emphasize a diet rich in whole grains, lots of local legumes, fresh vegetables, often straight from their own gardens, and daily physical activity, often involving walking up and down steep terrain. That plays a crucial role too. But Sardinia is just one piece of this whole puzzle, right? Our sources also highlight another community, this one nestled in the mountains of Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula. Here, things like heart disease are significantly less common, and cancer rates are markedly lower than national averages. Local doctors, according to the report, sometimes go years without seeing the kinds of cases common elsewhere. And what's also highlighted in the Nicoyan research is this unique daily sunrise ritual they have. Apparently, it takes exactly 23 minutes. Costs nothing. And our sources suggest this isn't just about mindfulness, so that's probably part of it. It involves a specific sequence. Slow, deliberate movements combined with deep diaphragmatic breathing, often done facing the rising sun. Researchers propose that this ritual might help synchronize the body's circadian rhythms and trigger a cascade of beneficial hormonal changes, like optimizing cortisol levels in the morning. Things linked to overall well-being, cellular repair, almost like the positive effects you see from certain therapies but achieved completely naturally.
That's incredible. Just 23 minutes for potentially such profound effects. It reminds me of that story about Don Carlos from Nicoya. He celebrated his 98th birthday by, get this, chopping wood for 3 hours straight. Our sources share that he talked about a specific sequence of movements, breathing patterns, even mental techniques, all passed down through generations. And these aren't complex workouts, are they? It sounds like gentle stretches, rhythmic breathing, focusing on the abdomen, and short periods of just being mindfully present, designed to keep joints flexible, keep the mind clear. It's about weaving it into daily life, not making it some separate chore, right?
Exactly. Integration seems key.
So, okay, we've explored some fascinating claims about these longevity hotspots, even down to cellular health. But what does this really mean for the specifics of their day-to-day lives? Our sources show clear patterns across diet, movement, even their environment. Let's maybe shift focus to Ikaria in Greece, another one of these remarkable blue zones. Here, people don't just live longer. They seem to have significantly lower rates of the chronic diseases that plague much of the developed world. For instance, our research indicates dementia affects less than 1% of Icarians over 65. Compare that to rates often hitting 50% or more in some Western populations. And clinical depression, reportedly very, very low.
Yeah, the Icarian lifestyle, it really offers a compelling blueprint. The sources tell the story of Yorgos, a 102-year-old fisherman, eyes still sparkling with youthful energy, apparently. He shared insights into his typical breakfast, a simple meal, really. Ingredients you could find anywhere, often wild greens, maybe some goat's milk yogurt, a small portion of slow-cooked beans or lentils. But the secret, as Yorgos revealed it, seemed to lie in the precise timing, the preparation method, and the combination ratios. For example, eating these foods mindfully, maybe mid-morning, slow cooking them to maximize nutrient availability, pairing antioxidant-rich greens with fermented dairy. The sources suggest this enhances gut health, optimizes nutrient absorption. It effectively transforms common foods into this powerful regimen, one that supports genetic expression for longevity, promoting anti-inflammatory pathways, cellular repair. So it's not just what they eat, it's how they eat it, when they eat it, and crucially, what they combine.
That really drives home the point, doesn't it? Simplicity, when it's thoughtfully applied, can have really profound effects. So this raises a question for me. Beyond just the food, what other fundamental elements do these villages share? What else contributes to such remarkable health?
That's an excellent question, and it takes us somewhere really fascinating. The Hunza Valley in Pakistan. According to some reports, this place represents a potential extreme in human longevity. We're talking about reports of some individuals living to 120, even beyond. And terms for things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes. They're apparently exceptionally rare in local language, simply because the conditions themselves are so uncommon there. One particularly intriguing aspect the research highlights about the Hunza Valley is the water they drink. It's not just any water, it's glacial meltwater, naturally infused with specific minerals. Things like colloidal silver, certain trace elements, present in precise ratios that are often missing from our tap water. Our sources suggest these minerals could be crucial for maintaining bone density, supporting artery elasticity, maybe even rejuvenating brain tissue. And the Hunza people, they also have traditional ways of preparing and consuming this water, sometimes involving special clay vessels or combining it with local herbs. They believe this enhances its benefits, creates a kind of synergy that supports overall vitality. And then there's their daily movement. It's deeply woven into tasks like farming, climbing steep mountain paths. It follows these ancient principles. It's about natural, full-range movements, low-impact agility, sustained activity all day long. The sources suggest this activates specific genetic pathways linked to joint health, muscle strength, optimal circulation, even into very old age.
So it's really a holistic picture, isn't it? Diet, movement, environment, they all intertwine. But it's not just about what goes into their bodies or how they move, right? Our sources strongly indicate that mindset, community, and rest play equally vital roles. Think about how much the modern world struggles with anxiety, chronic tension, which we know can accelerate aging. These communities, though, they seem to have developed stress response techniques that are incredibly effective. Their physiological markers, like cortisol levels, often remain remarkably low, sometimes like those of much younger adults, even when they're 90 or 100. The research suggests they manage to transform daily stressors, maybe through things like communal problem solving, a deep sense of acceptance, into something more like resilient energy. And then there's the power of connection. You mentioned community. The social structures in these villages create this incredibly strong web of support, purpose, and belonging. Our sources really emphasize that loneliness and isolation are often cited as factors that speed up aging, potentially even faster than things like smoking or obesity, possibly by triggering inflammation and increasing stress hormones. In contrast, the robust social connections in these longevity villages built on mutual support, shared purpose, that rich transfer of wisdom between generations. The research suggests this actively supports things like DNA repair mechanisms, boosts immune function, helps maintain cognitive sharpness. It's a powerful reminder of our fundamental human need for real community, isn't it?
It really is. What's truly fascinating here is the profound impact of these, well, seemingly intangible elements, which leads to an important question for you, the listener. How do these communities optimize even the most basic human needs? Take sleep, for example. Their sleep patterns seem deeply aligned with natural circadian rhythms, very different from the disrupted sleep common in modern life. Our sources indicate it's not just about getting 8 hours, though. It's about specific timing, often going to bed not long after sunset, rising with the sun, combined with preparation rituals, like winding down without bright artificial light. Environmental conditions that support deep, restorative sleep. This allows the body to complete its full repair cycles every single night, flushing toxins from the brain, rebuilding muscle, resetting hormonal balance. It makes sleep potentially one of the most powerful anti-aging therapies we have access to. And this attention to basics extends even to something as fundamental as breathing. These communities often use simple yet profound breathing techniques, often learned in childhood. Typically involve slow, deep breaths using the diaphragm, maybe holding briefly, designed to deliver oxygen to cells in patterns that maximize energy production while minimizing oxidative damage. They seem simple, maybe practiced just a few minutes daily, but they're suggested to optimize various body systems, 24/7, quietly supporting health. And finally, there's what might be the most important longevity secret of all, woven through all our sources. Nearly every person interviewed in these remarkable places shares this sense of purpose. It's so strong it literally pulls them out of bed with excitement each morning. Whether it's tending a garden, caring for grandkids, contributing to the village, researchers propose this profound sense of ikigai, or reason for being. They claim it can extend lifespan by as much as 15 years, just by fostering mental well-being and resilience.
Okay, let's try and unpack this for you listening at home and connect it to your own life. Our sources are really clear on this. What these villages do isn't necessarily super complicated or unattainable, and maybe most importantly, it seems incredibly accessible. They emphasize that these communities share common foundational practices, things you could begin to implement immediately, pretty much regardless of where you live. And they cost almost nothing, right? Require no prescriptions, no expensive equipment, no complicated protocols, just simple lifestyle adjustments that seem to work with your body's natural healing mechanisms.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these sources are really suggesting a profound reevaluation of our whole approach to health and aging. The central message seems pretty clear. Vibrant health well past 100 isn't just possible. It's almost portrayed as your birthright. If you understand and consistently apply the fundamental principles these remarkable communities have preserved for generations, this perspective directly challenges that conventional narrative around aging, doesn't it? The one that often funnels us towards expensive medical interventions that mostly treat symptoms while, as these sources suggest, often overlooking the root causes of age-related decline.
We've definitely taken a deep dive into an incredible world today, learning about communities where vibrant health past the century is, well, the norm, not the exception. The insights from these longevity villages offer such a powerful, yet often overlooked, alternative to how we typically think about getting older and staying healthy.
So, to leave you with a final, perhaps provocative thought, if so many of the secrets to living a long, healthy, and purposeful life are actually simple, accessible, and deeply rooted in things like community, mindful living, and our natural environment, what small, immediate change could you make today, right now, to begin aligning your own life just a little bit with these time-tested principles? What kind of future could you start building for yourself, starting right now, if you chose to experience the kind of vitality, wisdom, and frankly joy that seems to come with truly healthy aging, just like Maria Gonzalez and Don Carlos we talked about? Something to think about.